Digital message log, Metropolitan Emergency Management Center. Date, March 15, 2025. User, Callum Strix, Emergency Management Coordinator. 6:45, Internal Communication System. Morning briefing complete. Exercise Thunderbolt parameters downloaded to all department terminals. Standard government continuity drill scheduled for 72-hour duration beginning March 18th. All emergency management personnel maintain normal operational status during exercise window. Transportation manifests received from Regional Evacuation Authority. Priority evacuation lists processed through secure channels. 847 designated personnel across metropolitan area. Charter flight schedules coordinated with Municipal Airport Authority. Ground transport logistics assigned to Jackson Hale, Transportation Division. 7:12, Department Message Board. Juniper Wind reports communication tower maintenance scheduled March 17th to 19th. Routine infrastructure updates coinciding with exercise Thunderbolt timeline. All emergency frequencies remain operational throughout maintenance window. Backup repeater stations tested and functional. Leo Sable confirms supply requisition processing for exercise duration. Emergency rations, medical supplies, fuel reserves allocated per standard drill protocols. Municipal stockpiles inventoried at 98% capacity. Distribution centers operating normal schedules. 7:30, system status update. Power grid operating at full capacity. Backup generators tested weekly. Fuel reserves at maximum levels. Cambria stone scheduled for structural integrity assessments on reinforced facilities March 16th. Underground emergency bunkers maintained at operational readiness. Emergency communication networks functioning normally. Digital message traffic volume within standard parameters. All department personnel reporting to assigned stations for exercise preparation. 8:15, Transportation Logistics Report. Jackson Hale, Transportation Division. Charter aircraft capacity calculations complete. Private aviation assets reserved for priority evacuations total 15 jets, 8 helicopters. Fuel allocation exceeds standard exercise requirements by 12%. Ground transport includes 24 buses, 16 emergency vehicles, 8 specialized transport units. Public transportation systems notified of exercise parameters. Metro Rail, bus services maintain normal operations during drill window. No civilian transport disruption anticipated. 8:45, Communications Infrastructure Status. Juniper Wind Communications Division. Cell tower grid operating at 99.2% efficiency. Landline networks fully functional. Emergency radio frequencies clear across all bands. Satellite uplinks stable with backup systems ready. Digital message systems processing normal traffic loads. Emergency alert broadcasting capability tested and verified. Communication blackout protocols reviewed, but not activated for exercise. 9:20, Supply Chain Assessment. Leo Sable, Supply Management. Municipal emergency stockpiles inventoried. Water reserves, 2.3 million gallons. Emergency rations, 45,000 person days. Medical supplies, 180-day hospital capacity. Fuel reserves, 850,000 gallons diesel, 1.2 million gallons gasoline. Generator maintenance supplies, 6-month operational capacity. Distribution network functioning normally. Emergency supply caches verified at 23 locations throughout metropolitan area. Access codes updated quarterly, last verification February 28th. 10 o'clock, Structural Engineering Report. Cambria Stone, Infrastructure Division. Reinforced facility assessments scheduled. Municipal Emergency Bunker, Level 5 hardening, capacity 200 personnel. Underground Command Center, Level 7 hardening, capacity 50 personnel. Backup Communication Hub, Level 6 hardening, capacity 25 personnel. Structural integrity ratings current for all emergency facilities. Ventilation systems operational, filtration equipment tested monthly. Underground power systems independent from surface grid. 10:30, Exercise Parameter Review. Exercise Thunderbolt classified as Level 3 Emergency Response Drill. Simulated scenario involves coordinated infrastructure assessment and priority personnel evacuation. Duration 72 hours. Participants limited to designated government continuity personnel. Emergency management departments maintain normal operations while monitoring exercise communications. No public notification required for Level 3 exercises. Standard media coordination protocols inactive. 11 o'clock, personnel status update. All emergency management staff reporting normal duty status. Department heads confirmed for exercise observation roles. Support personnel assigned standard operational schedules throughout drill period. Priority evacuation personnel notifications sent through secure channels. Evacuation timing coordinated with transportation assets and facility readiness assessments. 11:30, regional coordination check. Digital communications established with regional emergency management centers. Exercise parameters synchronized across metropolitan coordination network. Backup communication protocols verified operational. Interagency cooperation confirmed with federal emergency response units. Military liaison maintains advisory status throughout exercise duration. 12 o'clock, department status summary. Metropolitan Emergency Management Center operational at full capacity. All personnel, equipment, and communication systems functioning within normal parameters. Exercise Thunderbolt preparation complete, monitoring protocols active. Resource management system stable. Transportation logistics coordinated. Communication infrastructure verified. Structural facilities assessed and ready. Emergency management operations continue normal schedule. Exercise observation and reporting protocols initiated for 72-hour drill period beginning March 18th, 6 o'clock hours. 12:15, end morning operations log. Standard operational status maintained. All departments report readiness for exercise Thunderbolt participation. Emergency management functions continue normal protocols during drill observation period. Next status update scheduled 1800 hours. All personnel maintain assigned duties and report exercise observations through established digital communication channels. System status normal. Exercise readiness confirmed. Personnel status, full operational capacity. Message log complete. Digital message log, Metropolitan Emergency Management Center. Date, March 16th, 2025. User, Callum Strix, Emergency Management Coordinator. 6:30, priority alert notification. Exercise Thunderbolt timeline modification, received through secure channels. Evacuation window advanced from March 18th to March 16th, 1400 hours. Priority personnel notification sent automatically to 847 designated individuals. Transportation assets repositioned for immediate deployment. Charter flights departing municipal airport beginning 1500 hours today. Ground transport staging areas activated ahead of original schedule. Reason for timeline acceleration. Operational efficiency optimization per federal continuity protocols. 7 o'clock, Transportation Division update. Jackson Hale, Transportation Division. Charter aircraft repositioned overnight. All 15 jets fueled and flight crews on standby. Helicopter assets positioned at evacuation staging points. Ground transport units moved to forward positions. Unusual requisition. Public transit buses reassigned from municipal service to private charter support. Metro rail operators reporting equipment transfers to Federal Transportation Authority. Standard passenger services reduced by 40% effective immediately. 7:25, Communications Division alert. Juniper Wind Communications Division. Communication tower maintenance schedule advanced to March 16th, 10 o'clock hours. Maintenance crews report federal oversight for security upgrade installation. Standard maintenance window extended from 8 hours to 72 hours. Equipment inventory shows installation of specialized transmission gear, not listed in routine maintenance protocols. Technical specifications indicate enhanced encryption capability and emergency broadcast override systems. 8 o'clock, Supply Management Anomaly Report. Leo Sable, Supply Management. Supply requisitions processed overnight exceed exercise Thunderbolt parameters by 340%. Emergency rations requested, 180,000 person days. Medical supplies, 720-day hospital capacity. Fuel requirements, 3.2 million gallons across all types. Requisition authority, Federal Emergency Continuity Agency. Delivery destinations, classified evacuation facilities outside metropolitan area. Municipal stockpiles designated for emergency reserve maintenance during exercise period. 8:30, evacuation manifest analysis. Priority evacuation personnel list reviewed. Federal government officials, 312 individuals. Military command structure, 186 individuals. Corporate leadership, defense/infrastructure, 203 individuals. Scientific/technical specialists, 146 individuals. Municipal emergency management personnel absent from priority lists. Standard continuity protocols require local emergency coordination during federal exercises. Department heads maintain operational oversight during drill period. 9:15, Infrastructure Division status. Cambria Stone, Infrastructure Division. Structural assessment requests received for underground facilities not listed in exercise Thunderbolt parameters. Facility specifications requested. Radiation shielding effectiveness ratings. Air filtration system capacity for biological/chemical contaminants. Independent power system duration under full operational load. Assessment priority classified as immediate operational requirement. Standard engineering timelines waived for federal continuity planning. 9:45, digital traffic pattern analysis. Communication network traffic volume increased 280% above normal parameters. Message routing analysis shows priority channels reserved for federal continuity operations. Standard emergency management frequencies maintained but bandwidth allocation reduced. Secure government communications consuming 85% of available digital capacity. Civilian communication networks automatically throttled to accommodate federal priority traffic. 10:20, regional coordination disruption. Regional emergency management centers report communication protocol changes. Standard interagency coordination suspended during exercise Thunderbolt. Federal oversight assumes regional coordination functions. Backup communication systems activated, but restricted to observation-only status. Emergency management departments maintain local operational authority, but regional coordination authority transferred to federal control. 11 o'clock, personnel movement monitoring. Priority evacuation personnel departures confirmed through transportation logs. First wave departures, 203 individuals via charter aircraft. Second wave staging, 312 individuals at municipal airport. Third wave preparation, 332 individuals at ground transport staging areas. Federal security personnel deployed to evacuation staging areas. Access restrictions implemented around transportation assets. Municipal emergency management personnel excluded from evacuation staging areas. 11:45, supply chain disruption analysis. Leo Sable, supply management. Municipal supply deliveries delayed or canceled for exercise Thunderbolt duration. Standard vendor contracts suspended under federal continuity protocols. Emergency stockpile access restricted to essential operational requirements only. Fuel allocation priority shifted to federal transportation assets. Municipal emergency vehicle fuel reserves designated for exercise observation period maintenance rather than operational deployment. 12:30, communication infrastructure changes. Juniper Wind Communications Division. Enhanced transmission equipment installation complete at 12 communication towers. New systems include emergency broadcast override capability bypassing standard protocols. Automated message transmission with federal priority routing. Communication blackout protocols with remote activation capability. Standard municipal emergency alert systems integrated into federal override network. Local communication authority transferred to Federal Continuity Command during exercise period. 1300 hours, Transportation Asset Redistribution. Jackson Hale, Transportation Division. Public transportation systems operating at 60% capacity due to equipment reassignment. Municipal emergency vehicles reassigned to federal evacuation support roles. Standard emergency response transportation reduced to minimum operational levels. Private charter operations consuming 90% of available aviation fuel at municipal airport. Ground transport fuel reserves allocated to priority evacuation convoy support. 1330, Pattern Assessment Summary. Exercise Thunderbolt operational parameters exceed standard drill protocols across all metrics. Transportation asset utilization, 340% above normal exercise levels. Communication system modifications, permanent infrastructure changes. Supply requisitions, emergency stockpile quantities for 72-hour drill. Personnel evacuation, complete priority list activation for exercise. Federal authority assumption of regional coordination functions during local drill period inconsistent with standard emergency management protocols. 1400 hours, priority evacuation completion notice. First wave priority evacuations complete. 203 individuals departed via charter aircraft to classified facilities. Second wave evacuations proceeding on schedule. Transportation assets operating at maximum capacity. Ground transport convoys departing municipal area at 15-minute intervals. Evacuation routes utilizing interstate highway system with federal traffic control coordination. 1430, Municipal Emergency Management Status. All department personnel maintain normal operational duties during Exercise Thunderbolt. Emergency management functions continue under local authority, while federal operations proceed independently. Communication systems operational, but bandwidth limited. Transportation assets available for municipal emergency response reduced to minimum levels. Supply access restricted, but operational requirements met. 1500 hours, end pattern recognition phase. Exercise Thunderbolt operations proceeding beyond standard drill parameters. Federal continuity protocols activated at levels typically reserved for actual emergency conditions rather than training exercises. Municipal emergency management maintains observational status and operational readiness. All department personnel report continued normal duty assignments despite exercise parameter modifications. Next assessment scheduled for 6 o'clock hours, March 17th. Continued monitoring of exercise operations and municipal emergency management system status. System status, operational, modified parameters. Exercise status, active, expanded scope. Personnel status, full operational capacity. Federal coordination, active oversight. Message log complete. From Callum Strix c.strix@metro.emergency.gov. 2. Emergency Response Team. Subject, Priority, Threat Assessment Verification. Time, 14:32 Eastern Standard Time. Accessing restricted channels through Emergency Management Override Protocols. Classification Level FOUO, Official Use Only. SIGINT intercept from 1347 shows nuclear threat assessment active. Threat timeline, 72 hours maximum window. Strike probability elevated to 85% confidence based on satellite intelligence and communication pattern analysis. Cross-referencing evacuation manifests with threat assessment timeline. Elite departure schedules correlate exactly with optimal evacuation window before infrastructure targeting. Juniper, need immediate verification on communication tower status. Are we looking at systematic network preparation for post-strike blackout? From juniperwinj.win@metro.com.gov. To Callum Strix. Subject, Communication Infrastructure Status. Time, 14:45 Eastern Standard Time. Callum, Tower Maintenance Schedule confirms controlled shutdown sequence. Primary communication hubs switching to backup power systems at 1800 hours today. Backup systems rated for 96-hour operation maximum. Fiber optic trunk lines show planned disconnection at major interstate junction points. Official reason, infrastructure hardening against electromagnetic interference. Translation, they're preparing for EMP aftermath. This isn't maintenance, it's preparation for communication network survival. Radio frequency allocation charts show military emergency bands cleared for civilian use starting tomorrow. Emergency broadcast system shows activation codes distributed to selected personnel only. We're not on the distribution list. From Leo Sable L.Sable@metro.supply.gov. 2. Emergency response team. Subject: Supply chain analysis urgent. Time: 15:12 Eastern Standard Time. Supply requisitions from federal emergency stockpiles exceed normal drill parameters by 340%. Medical supplies: potassium iodide tablets requisitioned in quantities sufficient for 50,000 personnel over 30-day period. Radiation detection equipment orders increased 500% in past 48 hours. Food and water: MRE orders placed for 180-day supply duration. Water purification tablets and filtration systems ordered in industrial quantities. Transportation fuel: emergency reserves redirected to charter aircraft and ground transport for designated personnel evacuation. Public transit fuel allocation reduced to 24-hour operational capacity. Personnel tracking through payroll systems shows 78% of federal emergency management staff processed for temporary duty reassignment outside metropolitan area. We're not on reassignment orders. From Cambria Stone c.stone@metro.infrastructure.gov. To Calumstrix. Subject: Structural assessment request. Time: 15:34 Eastern Standard Time. Calum: reviewing structural integrity reports for underground facilities. Municipal emergency bunker system rated for radiation shielding. 48-hour protection at ground 0 plus 15 miles. 72-hour protection at 25-plus mile radius. Building Department issued rapid structural assessments for all federal buildings past 72 hours. Assessment criteria focused on blast resistance and radiation containment rather than standard seismic evaluation. Subway tunnel system shows reinforcement work completed last month. Official project classification: infrastructure modernization. Actual work: radiation containment barriers and air filtration system upgrades. Storm drainage system mapping updated with radiation dispersal modeling data. Evacuation route planning includes fallout pattern projections. Underground facility access requires electronic keycard authentication. Current personnel database shows access authorization for 127 individuals. Emergency management team not included in authorization list. From Jackson Hale j.hale@metro.transport.gov. 2. Emergency response team. Subject: Transportation asset status. Time: 16:07. Transportation infrastructure analysis complete. Elite evacuation used 89% of available charter aircraft capacity. Private aircraft departure logs show 156 flights outbound in past 36 hours to 400% above normal traffic volume. Ground transportation: federal motor pool vehicles requisitioned for personal use by designated personnel. Emergency vehicle fleet reduced to 30% operational capacity due to fuel reallocation. Public transit systems showing personnel abandonment. Maintenance staff received 48-hour leave authorization starting tomorrow. Transit Authority management evacuated under family emergency protocols. Highway maintenance crews pulled from metropolitan area assignments. Bridge and tunnel inspection teams reassigned to rural infrastructure projects. Coordinates place them 200-plus miles from city center. Interstate fuel supplies show systematic depletion. Emergency refueling points established at 50-mile intervals on evacuation routes, but restricted to authorized personnel only. From Calumstrix c.strix@metro.emergency.gov. 2. Emergency response team. Subject: Operational assessment, immediate. Time: 16:23 Eastern Standard Time. Situation analysis complete. Nuclear strike threat confirmed through multiple intelligence sources. Strike window: 48 to 72 hours based on evacuation completion timeline and infrastructure preparation schedules. Elite evacuation 95% complete. Federal emergency management personnel evacuated except operational teams required for infrastructure maintenance during transition period. Our team classification: non-essential personnel for evacuation purposes, essential personnel for infrastructure maintenance during crisis period. Translation: we maintain systems until strike, then we're expendable. Threat assessment indicates metropolitan area primary target. Blast radius calculations show downtown core complete destruction, radiation contamination extending 40+ miles depending on wind patterns and weapon yield. Civilian population notification protocols not activated. Public warning systems not prepared for deployment. Emergency broadcast system configured for post-strike communication only. Resource assessment: municipal emergency supplies accessible for 72-hour window before facilities become inaccessible due to personnel evacuation. Underground shelter options available, but require immediate preparation. Tactical decision required within 24 hours. Attempt unauthorized evacuation using remaining transportation assets, or commit to survival in place using municipal emergency resources. Probability assessment: evacuation attempt 15% success rate due to resource scarcity and restricted access. Survival in place 60% success rate with proper preparation and resource allocation. Recommendation: initiate survival in place preparation immediately. Secure municipal emergency resources, establish underground shelter protocol, prepare for extended containment period. Team response required by 8 o'clock tomorrow. After that point, resource security becomes impossible due to personnel evacuation completion. From juniperwinj.win@metro.com.gov. 2. Emergency response team. Subject: communication protocol. Time: 16:45 Eastern Standard Time. Establishing secure communication protocol for operational continuity. Primary communication networks fail at T-24 hours when maintenance crews evacuate. Secondary radio systems operational for 96 hours on backup power. Emergency radio frequencies reserved for post-strike coordination. Equipment cached in municipal facilities for team access. Encryption keys distributed for secure communication during operational period. Communication schedule established for resource coordination and tactical updates. Digital message archival system activated for operational record maintenance. Ready to proceed with survival in place protocol. From Leo Sable L.Sable@metro.supply.gov. To Calumstrix. Subject: resource commitment. Time: 17:02 Eastern Standard Time. Resource allocation analysis supports survival in place recommendation. Municipal emergency supplies sufficient for 5-person team for 120-day period with proper rationing. Medical supplies adequate for radiation exposure treatment and general healthcare needs. Fuel reserves sufficient for backup power generation and limited transportation for 90-day period. Water supplies and purification capability adequate for extended survival period. Recommend immediate resource securing before evacuation completion eliminates access. Operational commitment confirmed. From Cambria Stone c.stone@metro.infrastructure.gov. 2. Emergency response team. Subject: facility preparation. Time: 17:18 Eastern Standard Time. Underground facility assessment complete. Municipal emergency bunker provides optimal radiation shielding and structural integrity. Capacity sufficient for team operation. Life support systems functional for extended period. Facility access secured through emergency management override protocols. Structural reinforcement possible using available materials and equipment. Facility preparation requires 18-hour work period for optimal configuration. Ready to begin preparation protocol immediately. From Jackson Hale J.Hale@metro.transport.gov. 2. Emergency response team. Subject: final asset assessment. Time: 17:33 Eastern Standard Time. Transportation assets reserved for emergency use during preparation period. Vehicle fuel sufficient for resource transportation and limited mobility during survival period. Maintenance equipment available for vehicle sustainability. Transportation routes mapped for resource acquisition and facility preparation. Emergency vehicle access secured through municipal authority protocols. Transportation support confirmed for survival-in-place operation. From Callum Strix c.strix at metro.emergency.gov. 2. Emergency Response Team. Subject: Operational Authorization. Time: 17:45 Eastern Standard Time. Team consensus achieved. Survival-in-place protocol authorized for immediate implementation. Resource securing begins at 6 o'clock tomorrow. Facility preparation concurrent with resource acquisition. Operational timeline: 48-hour preparation window before threat materialization. Emergency Management Authority transferred to Team Operation for Metropolitan Area Survival Mission. Operational status: active. Mission parameters: survive nuclear strike, maintain emergency management capability, coordinate post-strike recovery operations. Success criteria: team survival, resource sustainability, operational continuity. Begin preparation protocol immediately. All team members report to Municipal Emergency Operations Center at 6 o'clock for resource allocation and tactical coordination. Operational classification: essential personnel for metropolitan area survival operations. Emergency Management Alert System. Classification: eyes only, operational immediate. Time: 6:15 Eastern Standard Time. From Callum Strix c.strix at metro.emergency.gov. 2. Emergency Response Team. Subject: nuclear strike confirmed, operational immediate. Federal Emergency Management Agency flash traffic intercepted at 5:47 Eastern Standard Time. Nuclear strike authorization confirmed. Multiple warhead deployment targeting metropolitan infrastructure. Estimated time of impact: 36 to 48 hours from timestamp. Primary targets identified: financial district, federal building complex, transportation hubs, power generation facilities, communication centers. Blast yield estimation: 150 to 300 kiloton per warhead. Fallout radius: 25 to 40 miles depending on atmospheric conditions. Elite evacuation phase complete as of 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. Final charter flights departed Municipal Airport. Airport operations ceased at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Civilian evacuation protocols not activated. Repeat: no civilian warning issued. Emergency broadcast system not configured for public notification. Public transportation continuing normal operations. Population count in target zone: 2.3 million civilians with zero threat notification. Team status: non-evacuated by design. Operational reality: we maintain infrastructure until strike, then expendable. Immediate action required. All team members respond with current status and resource acquisition progress. Municipal facility access window closing rapidly as personnel abandon posts. From Leo Sable L.Sable at metro.supply.gov. 2. Emergency Response Team. Subject: critical supply chain collapse. Time: 6:32 Eastern Standard Time. Supply acquisition severely compromised. Municipal supply facility managers received evacuation orders at 5:15 Eastern Standard Time. Facility access requiring emergency override protocols. Security systems defaulting to lockdown mode as personnel evacuate. Emergency supply inventory. Food supplies: 67% of target acquisition completed. Water reserves: 43% secured, purification systems functional. Medical supplies: 89% acquired, including radiation treatment pharmaceuticals. Fuel reserves: 31% secured, critical shortage. Problem: fuel depot supervisors evacuated. Automated systems require manual override for bulk fuel extraction. Technical expertise needed for fuel pump operation and transportation. Alternative fuel sources identified. Municipal Vehicle Maintenance Facility has 2,400 gallons diesel, 1,800 gallons gasoline in storage tanks. Backup Generator Facility contains 5,200 gallons diesel reserve. Jackson, need immediate assistance for fuel acquisition. Current reserves insufficient for generator operation beyond 72-hour window. Time constraint: Facility access impossible after 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time when final security personnel evacuate. From Jackson Hale j.hale@metro.transport.gov. 2. Emergency Response Team. Subject: Transportation infrastructure collapse. Time: 6:48 Eastern Standard Time. Transportation infrastructure failing systematically. Municipal vehicle fleet: 73% of vehicles non-operational due to fuel diversion to evacuation operations. Remaining vehicles show fuel levels below 25% capacity. Public transit: operators abandon posts starting 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. Bus depot shows 156 vehicles idle, fuel supplies locked down. Subway system operational until 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time when final shift ends. Emergency vehicle status: Fire department: 3 engines operational, crews reporting to evacuation staging areas. Police: 12 patrol units active, personnel processing evacuation orders. Ambulance service: 2 units operational, medical staff evacuated to rural facilities. Critical: emergency services abandoning metropolitan area. Response capability dropping to 0 by 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Road networks show increasing abandonment. Traffic control systems failing as operators evacuate. Highway maintenance ending at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Fuel depot access confirmed possible until 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. Technical override procedures required for bulk extraction. Leo will coordinate fuel acquisition immediately. Transportation assets secured: 2 emergency vehicles, 1 municipal truck, 1 backup generator transport vehicle. From juniperwinj.win@metro.com.gov. 2. Emergency Response Team. Subject: Communication network shutdown. Time: 7:05 Eastern Standard Time. Communication infrastructure systematic shutdown in progress. Primary communication towers switching to backup power at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Network operators completed evacuation at 6:45 Eastern Standard Time. Automated systems will maintain operation for 84 hours maximum on backup power. Internet service providers shutting down data centers. Fiber optic network maintenance ending at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Cable communication infrastructure unmonitored after 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Emergency communication frequencies cleared for post-strike operations. Radio equipment secured from municipal emergency services. Intercepted traffic analysis. Federal coordination channels show exercise complete status. Military communication indicates asset protection protocols active. Emergency management shows personnel relocation successful. Translation: official operations consider metropolitan area expendable. No recovery or rescue operations planned for post-strike period. Emergency radio network established for team coordination. Communication protocol active for operational continuity. Secure channel frequencies reserved for post-strike survivor coordination, if any other emergency personnel remain in area. Current assessment: team may be only organized emergency response capability remaining in target zone. From Cambria Stone c.stone@metro.infrastructure.gov. 2. Emergency Response Team. Subject: infrastructure status critical. Time: 7:21 Eastern Standard Time. Infrastructure systems failing as personnel evacuate. Power grid: nuclear plant operators evacuated at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Automated systems maintaining power generation, but no technical supervision for system failures. Grid stability declining as substations lose monitoring capability. Water treatment: processing plant operators departed 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. Automated chemical treatment continuing for 48 to 72 hours maximum before system failure. Water pressure maintained by gravity feed from elevated storage. Natural gas: distribution monitoring ended at 6:15 Eastern Standard Time. Automated safety systems will shut down gas flow if pressure anomalies detected. Manual restart impossible without technical personnel. Underground facility preparation: municipal emergency bunker 78% prepared for extended occupation. Structural reinforcement completed. Air filtration system functional. Backup power systems tested and operational. Critical finding: bunker air filtration system requires filter replacement every 240 hours during contamination conditions. Filter supply inventory: 720 hours maximum operation. Additional filtration supplies located at Federal Building Emergency Facility. Location compromised due to primary target designation. Alternative filter sources identified. Hospital emergency systems, industrial facility air handling systems. Facility operational timeline. 30-day maximum air filtration with current supplies. 90-day maximum with additional filter acquisition. From Callum Strix c.strix at metro.emergency.gov. To Emergency Response Team. Subject, Operational Status Assessment. Time, 7:43 Eastern Standard Time. Situation Assessment based on team reports. Resource status, food/water, 67% of target secured, declining acquisition capability. Fuel, 31% secured, critical shortage for generator operation. Medical, 89% secured, adequate for radiation treatment. Shelter, 78% prepared, air filtration timeline insufficient. Transportation, basic capability maintained. Infrastructure status, power, declining stability, failure probable within 72 hours. Water, 48 to 72 hour operational window before treatment failure. Communication, 84 hours maximum on backup systems. Emergency services, abandonment 90% complete. Time constraints, facility access ends, 4 hours 17 minutes. Infrastructure supervision ends, 2 hours 30 minutes. Strike window begins, 30 hours minimum. Tactical decision matrix. Current resource securing rate insufficient for extended survival requirements. Team must prioritize critical resource acquisition in remaining access window. Priority 1. Fuel acquisition for generator operation, Jackson/Leo coordinate. Priority 2. Air filtration supply expansion, Cambria identify sources. Priority 3. Water reserve maximization before treatment failure. Priority 4. Communication equipment backup systems. Resource allocation decisions required immediately. Team coordination essential for acquisition efficiency in compressed time frame. Strike survival probability with current resources, 47%. Strike survival probability with priority acquisitions completed, 73%. Operational commitment confirmed. Execute priority resource acquisition immediately. From Leo Sable L.Sable at metro.supply.gov. To Jackson Hale. Subject, Fuel Acquisition Coordination. Time, 8:02 Eastern Standard Time. Jackson, Fuel Depot Technical Access confirmed. Override procedures located in Facility Management Documentation. Bulk Extraction Equipment operational. Target fuel acquisition, 8,000 gallons diesel for generator operation, 2,000 gallons gasoline for vehicle operation. Transportation requirement, 4 round trips using municipal tank truck and emergency vehicles. Depot access window, 3 hours 28 minutes remaining. Technical procedure, manual override of automated distribution system, direct pump operation, bulk transport loading. Coordination required, transportation asset management during acquisition, security during fuel transfer operations. Fuel acquisition begins immediately. Meet at Municipal Vehicle Depot for transport coordination. From Cambria Stone c.stone at metro.infrastructure.gov. To Callum Strix. Subject, Air Filtration Emergency Expansion. Time, 8:18 Eastern Standard Time. Callum, Alternative air filtration supply sources identified. Metropolitan Hospital, Emergency Air Handling System uses compatible filters. Estimated supply, 480 hours operational capacity. Industrial Complex, Manufacturing Facility Clean Room Systems compatible. Estimated supply, 720 hours capacity. Federal Building, Primary target location, but basement emergency facility contains 1,200 hours filter supply. Total potential filtration timeline, 400 plus hours, 100 plus days, with complete acquisition. Risk assessment, hospital and industrial complex accessible during current window. Federal building requires entry into primary target zone. Transportation requirement, 2 emergency vehicles for hospital/industrial acquisition, specialized equipment for federal building access. Time requirement, 6 hours for hospital/industrial acquisition, 4 hours for federal building, high risk. Recommendation, acquire hospital and industrial supplies immediately. Evaluate federal building access based on strike timeline. Beginning acquisition operations immediately. From juniperwinj.win@metro.com.gov. 2. Emergency response team. Subject: communication equipment backup. Time: 8:34 Eastern Standard Time. Team coordination during resource acquisition. Emergency radio frequencies established for operational communication. Each team member equipped with portable radio for coordination during acquisition operations. Communication schedule: status updates every 30 minutes during operations. Emergency frequency for immediate assistance requests. Backup communication equipment secured. Satellite radio capability for post-strike external communication. Emergency broadcast equipment for survivor coordination. Digital message system maintaining operational record during acquisition phase. Communication support active for all acquisition operations. From Callum Strix c.strix@metro.emergency.gov. 2. Emergency response team. Subject: operational execution immediate. Time: 8:47 Eastern Standard Time. Final coordination for critical resource acquisition. Fuel team: Leo/Jackson execute fuel depot acquisition. 8,000 gallons diesel, 2,000 gallons gasoline. Filtration team: Cambria execute hospital/industrial air filter acquisition. 200 plus hours supply. Water team: Callum execute water reserve maximization and treatment chemical acquisition. Communication: Juniper coordinate team operations and backup system completion. Acquisition window: 3 hours maximum before facility access impossible. Strike timeline: 29 hours 13 minutes until minimum impact window. Success criteria: fuel sufficient for 90-day generator operation, air filtration for 100-plus day contamination period, water reserves for extended survival. Team survival probability with successful acquisition: 78%. Execute immediately. All teams maintain radio contact for coordination and emergency assistance. Operational status: critical phase active. Mission timeline: complete acquisition by 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Return to bunker facility for final preparation phase. Strike survival depends on next 3 hours resource acquisition success. Begin acquisition operations now. Emergency management channel priority alert system. From callum.strix@cityemergency.gov. 2. Crisis_response_team at secure.local. Timestamp: 14 hours 23 minutes and 7 seconds. Subject: operational status, final commitment. Strike timeline updated. 12 hours confirmed through FEMA emergency broadcast override. All civilian evacuation protocols remain inactive. Transportation Command reports 0 assets available for non-priority personnel. Leo resource audit complete per your request. Municipal emergency supply status. MRE inventory: 240 units, building 7 basement storage. Water reserves: 3,200 gallons, underground cistern operational. Medical supplies: basic trauma kit, antibiotics, limited, radiation detection equipment. Fuel reserves: 450 gallons diesel, 200 gallons gasoline, generator capacity 72 hours continuous operation. Backup power grid assessment from Juniper indicates primary substations abandoned. Essential services power maintains 4-hour window maximum before cascade failure. Communication towers operating on battery backup only. Cambria's structural analysis of municipal building 7 basement level shows reinforced concrete construction, 18-inch walls, steel beam framework. Radiation shielding coefficient acceptable for fallout protection. Depth: 22 feet below grade, multiple exit routes maintained. Internal team communication, secure channel. From jackson.hale@transport.gov. 2. Crisis_response_team at secure.local. Timestamp: 14 hours 41 minutes and 15 seconds. Transportation status final report. All civilian evacuation routes confirmed unavailable. Interstate highways: fuel stations abandoned, traffic control systems offline. Rail systems: personnel evacuated, switching equipment unmonitored. Airport facilities: commercial aviation grounded, private aircraft departed. Port authority: maritime transport assets relocated, personnel absent. Vehicle inventory remaining. Emergency response vehicles: 3 units, fuel capacity sufficient for 200-mile radius. Municipal maintenance trucks: 2 units, mechanical condition operational. Personal vehicles, various civilian abandonment, fuel status unknown. Recommendation: commit available transportation assets to supply acquisition rather than evacuation attempt. Distance to nearest confirmed safe zone exceeds fuel capacity. Road conditions deteriorating due to abandoned traffic control systems. Engineering assessment, priority communication. From Cambria.stone@cityengineering.gov to crisis_response_team@secure.local. Timestamp: 15 hours 12 minutes and 33 seconds. Structural fortification assessment complete. Municipal buildings 7 basement facility modification requirements. Immediate improvements possible with available resources. Ventilation system, HVAC modification for filtered air circulation, 4-hour installation. Radiation shielding, additional concrete barriers using available municipal supplies, 6-hour construction. Water storage, sealed container installation, municipal water department reserves accessible. Power systems, generator hardening, fuel line protection, 3-hour installation. Long-term survival modifications. Waste management, sealed system installation required. Food storage, temperature control, preservation protocols. Communication equipment, hardened installation, EMP protection measures. Medical facility, sterile treatment area establishment. Time requirement for basic fortification, 18 hours minimum. Available time before strike, 11 hours 47 minutes. Recommend immediate commencement of critical modifications only. Supply chain analysis, emergency protocol. From leo.sable@supplymanagement.gov to crisis_response_team@secure.local. Timestamp: 15 hours 35 minutes and 41 seconds. Resource acquisition analysis complete. Survival calculation parameters. Team size, 5 personnel. Survival duration target, 180 days minimum. Daily consumption requirements. Water, 1 gallon per person per day equals 900 gallons total. Food, 2,200 calories per person per day equals 900 MRE equivalent units. Fuel, generator operation 8 hours daily equals 1,800 gallons diesel requirement. Medical supplies, radiation exposure treatment, standard medical protocols. Current availability versus requirements. Water, 3,200 gallons available, 355% of requirement. Food, 240 MRE units available, 27% of requirement. Fuel, 450 gallons diesel, 25% of requirement. Medical, insufficient for radiation exposure treatment. Critical deficiencies require immediate resource acquisition. Municipal warehouses contain additional supplies if accessible before strike. Hardware stores, medical facilities, fuel stations contain necessary materials. Time required for supply acquisition, 8 to 10 hours minimum. Available operational window, 11 hours 32 minutes. Communication system status, technical report. From juniper.win@citycom.gov to crisis_response_team@secure.local. Timestamp: 16 hours 4 minutes and 22 seconds. Communication infrastructure status deteriorating rapidly. Network capacity reduced to 35% of normal operation. Emergency broadcast system operational on battery backup power only. Monitoring channels indicate. Federal Emergency Management. Final evacuation confirmations transmitted. Military communications. Strike preparation protocols active. Civilian emergency services. Personnel abandonment confirmed. Regional coordination. Network fragmentation increasing. Last confirmed intelligence. Strike authorization confirmed through military channels. Target designation, metropolitan area, strategic infrastructure focus. Delivery method, ballistic missile, estimated yield classification restricted. Impact timeline, 2 hours and 15 minutes hours, plus or minus 15 minutes. Post-strike communication capability assessment. Landline systems, complete failure expected due to infrastructure damage. Cellular networks, tower destruction anticipated, battery backup 12 to 24 hours maximum. Radio communications, EMP damage probable, hardened equipment survival possible. Internet infrastructure, fiber network damage, service provider facility destruction. Recommendation: Establish hardened communication equipment in fortified facility immediately. Team coordination, final decision protocol. From callum.strix@cityemergency.gov to crisis_response_team at secure.local. Timestamp, 16 hours 28 minutes and 45 seconds. Subject, operational commitment, NO return. Analysis complete. Evacuation attempt probability of success, less than 12%. Resource requirements exceed available capacity. Transportation infrastructure failure eliminates safe passage options. Survival strategy commitment, underground fortification with supply acquisition operations. Operational timeline, hours 1 to 2, critical facility modifications, Cambria lead. Hours 3 to 6, resource acquisition operations, Leo coordination, Jackson transport. Hours 7 to 9, equipment installation and supply consolidation. Hours 10 to 11, final preparation, communication equipment hardening, Juniper. Hour 12, strike event, facility lockdown protocol. Resource allocation by priority. Water storage systems, survival critical. Food acquisition, extend survival timeline. Fuel reserves, power generation, post-strike mobility. Medical supplies, radiation exposure treatment. Communication equipment, coordination capability. Individual assignments confirmed. Callum, operational coordination, resource management oversight. Juniper, communication systems, monitoring equipment. Leo, supply acquisition, inventory management. Cambria, facility modification, structural integrity. Jackson, transportation logistics, equipment movement. All personnel acknowledge. Point of no return reached. Evacuation option eliminated. Survival protocol commitment confirmed. Operations commence immediately. System status, final update. Timestamp, 16 hours 45 minutes and 12 seconds. Remaining operational window, 9 hours 29 minutes. Commitment status, confirmed. Mission objective, survival through tactical preparation. Emergency operations log, Municipal Building 7 basement. Operator, Callum Strix. Time, 17 hours 42 minutes and 33 seconds, T-8 hours 32 minutes. Status, fortification operations active. Facility modification progress update. Cambria's structural team completed primary reinforcement of east wall section. Additional concrete barriers installed using municipal road repair supplies. Reinforcement coefficient increased by 35% for primary shelter area. Ventilation system modification in progress. HVAC ducting rerouted through filtration chamber constructed from available materials. Water storage installation complete. Leo secured 2,400 additional gallons from Municipal Water Department emergency reserves. Total capacity now 5,600 gallons, exceeding 180-day survival requirement by 122%. Sealed container system operational, contamination prevention protocols established. Generator hardening 60% complete. Jackson relocated fuel storage to interior position, installed secondary fuel lines with manual shutoff capability. EMP protection measures applied to critical electrical systems using copper mesh shielding from municipal electrical supplies. Supply acquisition report, field operations. From Leo Sable Mobile Unit Alpha to base operations. Time, 18 hours 15 minutes and 47 seconds, T-7 hours 59 minutes. Supply run Delta complete. Acquired from abandoned grocery distribution center. MRE equivalent units, 340 additional. Total inventory, now 580 units. Canned goods, 180 units, extended shelf life verified. Medical supplies, first aid kits, antibiotics, iodine tablets for radiation exposure. Water purification tablets, 200 units, backup water treatment capability. Hardware store acquisition successful. Plastic sheeting, 400 square feet, contamination barrier material. Duct tape, 12 rolls, sealing applications. Battery inventory, 60 units various sizes, backup power for equipment. Hand tools, maintenance capability for equipment repair. Fuel acquisition from abandoned service station, 280 gallons diesel, 150 gallons gasoline. Total fuel reserves now 730 gallons diesel, 350 gallons gasoline. Extends generator operation to 240 hours continuous or 480 hours intermittent operation. Transportation logistics, vehicle status. From Jackson, Hale, mobile unit beta. To base operations. Time, 18 hours 43 minutes and 12 seconds, T-minus 7 hours 31 minutes. Vehicle acquisition successful. Secured municipal maintenance truck from city garage, mechanical condition optimal. Fuel capacity 50 gallons, cargo capacity 2 tons. Vehicle hardening modifications applied. Additional fuel storage, communication equipment installation, tool inventory secured. Secondary vehicle operational. Emergency response unit with specialized equipment. Medical supplies, communication gear, portable generator capacity. Both vehicles positioned in protected garage area, rapid deployment capability maintained. Route reconnaissance complete for post-strike operations. Identified 3 potential supply sources within 15-mile radius. Medical facility, school cafeteria, retail distribution center. Fuel requirements calculated for recovery missions, sufficient reserves confirmed. Communication systems, technical installation. From Juniper, Wind technical operations. To base operations. Time, 19 hours 20 minutes and 55 seconds, T-minus 6 hours 54 minutes. Communication equipment hardening complete. Radio systems installed in Faraday cage construction, using available copper materials. EMP protection measures tested, signal clarity verified. Backup power systems connected to main generator with manual transfer capability. Monitoring equipment operational. Radiation detection, Geiger counter network, for units positioned for facility monitoring. Weather monitoring, barometric pressure, wind direction, temperature tracking. Communication intercept, emergency frequency monitoring, survivor coordination capability. External antenna system installed with rapid deployment configuration. Post-strike communication capability established with regional emergency networks. Backup communication protocols established using shortwave radio equipment. Structural engineering, facility status. From Cambria, stone construction operations. To base operations. Time, 19 hours 52 minutes and 41 seconds, T-minus 6 hours 22 minutes. Primary fortification complete. Radiation shielding improved by 40% through additional concrete installation. Structural integrity verified for blast overpressure resistance. Emergency exit routes confirmed operational with debris clearing capability. Interior facility modifications complete. Sleeping quarters, 5 individual areas, privacy screens, storage capability. Medical treatment area, sterile environment, supply storage, equipment mounting. Food preparation area, cooking capability, water access, waste management. Equipment storage, organized inventory, rapid access configuration. Workshop area, tool storage, maintenance capability, repair operations. Waste management system installed. Sealed storage containers, disposal protocols established. Air filtration system operational. Positive pressure maintained to prevent contamination infiltration. Operational coordination, resource management. From Callum, Strix operations control. Time, 20 hours 34 minutes and 18 seconds, T-minus 5 hours 40 minutes. Resource consolidation 85% complete. Inventory management protocols established. Current supply status. Food, 580 MRE units plus 180 canned goods equals 760 total units, 84% of 180-day requirement. Water, 5,600 gallons, 622% of requirement. Fuel, 730 gallons diesel, 350 gallons gasoline, adequate for 240-hour continuous operation. Medical, basic treatment capability, radiation exposure protocols. Equipment, maintenance tools, communication systems, monitoring equipment. Operational procedures established. Daily resource allocation protocols. Equipment maintenance schedules. Communication monitoring rotations. Security protocols for facility access. Emergency response procedures for equipment failure. Team assignments for facility operations. Callum, resource management, operational coordination. Juniper, communication monitoring, equipment maintenance. Leo, supply management, inventory control. Cambria, facility maintenance, structural monitoring. Jackson, vehicle maintenance, external reconnaissance capability. Security protocols, access control. Time, 21 hours 15 minutes and 32 seconds, T-minus 4 hours 59 minutes. Facility security measures implemented. Entry points: 2 primary, 1 emergency, all secured with manual locking systems. Perimeter monitoring, visual surveillance, motion detection capability. Alarm systems, manual activation, internal communication network. Weapon inventory, basic defensive capability, ammunition secured. Emergency evacuation, rapid deployment protocols, vehicle access confirmed. Final preparation status, critical systems. Time: 22 hours 47 minutes and 55 seconds, T-minus 3 hours 27 minutes. All critical systems operational. Power generation, primary and backup generators tested, fuel systems verified. Water systems, storage and purification capability confirmed. Air filtration, positive pressure maintained, contamination prevention active. Communication, internal and external capability verified. Medical, treatment protocols established, supply inventory complete. Food preparation, cooking capability, waste management operational. Strike preparation protocols. T-minus 2 hours, final system checks, equipment securing. T-minus 1 hour, personnel final positions, communication monitoring. T-minus 30 minutes, facility lockdown, all systems operational confirmation. T-minus 10 minutes, communication monitoring for strike warning. Strike event, complete facility isolation, radiation monitoring activation. Team readiness confirmed. Survival adaptation protocols fully operational. Status summary. Time: 23 hours and 15 minutes, T-minus 3 hours 00 minutes. Facility status, survival ready. Resource adequacy, 84% of requirement. Operational capability, established. Mission status, survival protocols active. Emergency management terminal, municipal bunker level B3. Time stamp: 14 hours 47 minutes and 23 seconds, day 0 plus midnight. Radiation alert, active, all surface operations suspended. Callum.strix at emergency.gov, internal log. Seismic sensors registered magnitude equivalent at 14 hours 47 minutes and 18 seconds. Ground shock consistent with 50 kiloton detonation, approximately 15 kilometers northeast. All surface communication arrays went dark simultaneously. Radiation alarms triggered across the facility within 90 seconds of initial detection. Juniper confirmed total communication blackout with regional emergency networks at 14 hours 48 minutes and 45 seconds. Primary radio tower destroyed based on final signal degradation pattern. Backup cellular infrastructure compromised, no carrier signals detected on any frequency. Power grid cascade failure initiated 14 hours 49 minutes and 12 seconds. Municipal backup generators engaged automatically, but were operating on limited capacity. Leo reports fuel reserves sufficient for 72 hours maximum power consumption at current draw rates. Initial radiation readings from external sensors, 850 Roentgens per hour at ground level. Lethal exposure threshold exceeded by factor of 4. Surface operations impossible for minimum 48 to 72 hours based on decay calculations. Equipment status alert, 14 hours 52 minutes and 15 seconds. Cambria conducting structural assessment. Outer bunker sections showing stress fractures from ground shock. Water infiltration detected in section C, 7 through C12. Primary ventilation system functioning, but filtration efficiency compromised. External intake sealed, switching to internal air recycling. Resource inventory update, 15 hours 15 minutes and 33 seconds. Leo's emergency inventory count. Water reserves, 840 gallons, sufficient for 14 days, 5 personnel. Food supplies, MRE equivalent for 18 days, 5 personnel. Medical supplies, basic first aid, radiation sickness treatment limited. Fuel, diesel reserves 720 gallons for generators. Batteries, 48-hour backup power for essential systems only. Consumption rates exceeding planned parameters due to containment requirements. Ventilation system drawing 35% more power than calculated. Temperature regulation systems working overtime due to external heat signature from blast effects. Communication log, 15 hours 47 minutes and 9 seconds. Juniper.win at emergency.gov, technical report. All external communication infrastructure confirmed destroyed or non-functional. Primary emergency radio network, no signal. Cellular towers within 30-kilometer radius, offline. Satellite uplink capability, antenna array damaged. Internet connectivity, fiber optic cables severed. Landline telephone system, switching stations destroyed. Emergency radio equipment functioning on internal power only. Battery reserves for portable units, 16 hours continuous operation. No incoming signals detected on any emergency frequency. We are completely isolated from external coordination. Structural engineering assessment, 16 hours, 23 minutes, and 41 seconds. Cambria.stone at emergency.gov, facility status. Bunker structural integrity compromised in multiple locations. Hairline fractures detected in reinforced concrete walls, sections A4, B7, C9. Water infiltration rate, 2.3 gallons per hour through compromised seals. Ventilation shaft alignment shifted 4 degrees. Efficiency reduced 20%. Emergency exit route C blocked by structural debris. Main support beam showing stress indicators, but within tolerance. Immediate repair requirements. Seal water infiltration points using available concrete patches. Reinforce compromised wall sections with steel bracing. Clear debris from backup exit routes. Monitor load-bearing structures for progressive failure. Estimated repair timeline, 12 to 16 hours with available materials and personnel. Supply chain analysis, 17 hours, 45 minutes, and 52 seconds. Leo.sable at emergency.gov, resource critical alert. Revised consumption calculations based on extended containment. Water usage increased 40% due to decontamination protocols and cooling requirements. Current consumption rate reduces reserves to 10 days maximum. Food supply adequate, but high-stress environment increasing caloric requirements. Estimate 15-day supply under current conditions. Medical supplies insufficient for radiation exposure treatment. No potassium iodide available. Basic first aid supplies adequate for minor injuries only. Fuel consumption critical. Generator efficiency reduced due to overload conditions. At current draw rate, complete power failure in 58 hours. Transportation status, 18 hours, 12 minutes, and 17 seconds. Jackson.Hale at emergency.gov, mobility assessment. All surface transportation compromised. Municipal fleet vehicles, exposed to radiation, decontamination required. Fuel depot access, surface facility inaccessible due to radiation levels. Road network status, unknown due to communication blackout. Alternative routes, require surface exposure for assessment. Underground vehicle bay contains. Emergency response vehicle, diesel fuel tank 75% capacity. Utility truck, functional, fuel tank 40% capacity. Maintenance equipment, various tools and spare parts. Vehicles require radiation shielding modifications before surface operation possible. Facility operations log, 19 hours 30 minutes and 8 seconds. Callum.strix at emergency.gov, operational status. Current operational capacity severely degraded. Personnel, 5 functional, no casualties from initial strike. Power, generator backup, 52 hours remaining at current consumption. Life support, functioning but strained due to containment requirements. Communications, internal systems only, external contact impossible. Structural, compromised but habitable with ongoing repairs. Critical resource requirements identified. Extended power generation capability. Water conservation and reclamation systems. Radiation detection and decontamination supplies. Food preservation in non-refrigerated environment. Medical supplies for radiation exposure treatment. Operational priorities established. Immediate structural repairs to prevent further deterioration. Power consumption reduction protocols. Resource conservation measures implementation. Alternative communication system development. Surface reconnaissance planning for radiation-safe periods. Radiation monitoring, 20 hours 45 minutes and 33 seconds. External radiation levels stabilizing but remain lethal. Current reading 650 Roentgens per hour, decrease from initial 850 R/HR. Decay pattern consistent with nuclear weapon fallout. Safe surface exposure threshold below 10 R/HR, estimated 96 to 120 hours. Limited exposure operations 30-minute maximum possible in 72 hours. Internal facility radiation within safe parameters. Ventilation filtration maintaining clean environment. Emergency coordination attempt 21 hours 15 minutes and 47 seconds. Juniper.win@emergency.gov. Communication status. Attempted contact protocols. Emergency broadcast frequencies. No response detected. Military emergency channels silent. Ham radio networks. No signals received. Emergency beacon activation. Transmitted but no acknowledgement. We remain isolated from all external emergency coordination. No indication of rescue operations or regional emergency response activity detected. Operational decision log, 22 hours. Callum.strix@emergency.gov, command decision. Based on current resource analysis and facility limitations, implementing extended survival protocols. Resource conservation measures. Reduce power consumption to essential systems only. Implement water recycling and conservation procedures. Establish food rationing protocols for 30-day supply extension. Minimize ventilation system operation during low activity periods. Survival operations. Continuous radiation monitoring with surface exposure planning. Structural repair operations using available materials. Alternative power generation research using facility equipment. Communication system modification for extended range capability. Team assignments for extended operations. Cambria, facility maintenance and structural integrity. Leo, resource management and conservation protocols. Juniper, communication systems and monitoring equipment. Jackson, transportation preparation and surface reconnaissance planning. Callum, operational coordination and decision authority. We are committed to independent survival operations. External rescue unlikely based on communication blackout and regional infrastructure destruction. Survival depends entirely on resource management and tactical adaptation to post-nuclear environment. Facility lockdown continues. Surface operations suspended until radiation levels permit limited exposure reconnaissance. Emergency management terminal, municipal bunker level B3. Timestamp, 6 hours 15 minutes and 42 seconds. Day 0 plus 15 hours 28 minutes and 24 seconds. Radiation alert, elevated surface operations planning phase. Callum.strix@emergency.gov, intelligence analysis. Radiation decay pattern analysis complete. External levels decreased to 285 Roentgens per hour. Still lethal but following predictable fallout curve. Mathematical projection indicates safe surface operations window, below 10 R/HR, in 78 hours. Limited exposure reconnaissance possible in 36 hours with proper protective protocols. Juniper recovered archived communication data from buffer systems prior to network destruction. Analysis reveals systematic pattern of elite evacuation protocols deliberately excluding municipal emergency personnel despite our Level 3 emergency management certification. Archived data recovery, 6 hours 32 minutes and 18 seconds. Juniper.win@emergency.gov, communication forensics. Retrieved pre-strike message logs from emergency management servers. Priority Alpha, Thunderbolt Actual. From federal.emergency@gov.secure to regional.coordinators@emergency.net. Classification, eyes only. Municipal level emergency personnel, not authorized for priority evacuation. Maintain operational security. Local emergency management to continue standard duties until final phase activation. Evacuation manifest, priority listing. Federal officials, 847 personnel evacuated. State government, 312 personnel evacuated. Corporate executives, 1,249 personnel evacuated. Municipal emergency management, 0 personnel excluded. Evidence confirms deliberate exclusion. We were designated as operational continuity, expected to maintain emergency services until strike impact, then expendable. Radiation mapping analysis, 7 hours 45 minutes and 33 seconds. Cambria.stone at emergency.gov, contamination assessment. Radiation sensor data indicates contamination dispersion pattern. High contamination zones, 500 plus are /HR. Northeast sector, 15-kilometer radius from ground zero. Industrial district, heavy fallout accumulation. Airport region, transportation infrastructure destroyed. Moderate contamination zone, 100 à 300 RHR. Downtown commercial district. Residential areas southeast. Highway corridors leading north. Low contamination corridors, 50 to 150 are /HR. Underground utility tunnels. Subway system, flooded but potentially navigable. Storm drain network extending west. Safe passage routes identified for future surface operations. Underground infrastructure provides radiation-shielded transportation network. Resource cache identification, 8 hours 22 minutes and 47 seconds. Leo.sable at emergency.gov, supply analysis. Cross-referenced municipal emergency supply locations with radiation mapping. Accessible supply caches. Municipal warehouse complex, 2.3 kilometers west. Contamination level, 125 are /HR, accessible with protective equipment. Inventory, 50,000 gallons water, medical supplies, emergency food. Structural status, concrete construction, likely intact. Fire station 7 to 1.8 kilometers southwest. Contamination level, 85 are /HR, short exposure window acceptable. Inventory, fuel depot 8,000 gallons diesel, oxygen tanks, tools. Access route, storm drain system provides 80% covered approach. Regional medical stockpile, 4.1 kilometers south. Contamination level, 180 are /HR, requires protective protocols. Inventory, radiation sickness treatment, antibiotics, surgical supplies. Strategic value, critical for extended survival medical needs. Transportation tactical analysis, 9 hours 15 minutes and 52 seconds. Jackson.hale at emergency.gov, mobility operations. Vehicle modification requirements for contaminated environment operations. Emergency response vehicle modifications. Lead sheet lining for radiation shielding, available from facility maintenance stock. Air filtration system upgrade, HEPA filters available in HVAC supplies. Fuel efficiency optimization, reduce weight, tune engine for maximum range. Communication equipment installation, portable radio systems with extended antenna. Route planning for resource acquisition. Primary route, underground tunnel system 65% of distance to major caches. Secondary route, surface streets during low radiation windows. Emergency extraction, prepositioned supplies for rapid evacuation. Estimated modification timeline, 8 hours with available materials and tools. Survivor network analysis, 10 hours 47 minutes and 29 seconds. Juniper.win at emergency.gov, communication intelligence. Portable radio equipment detecting intermittent signals. Active communication sources. Emergency frequency 155.175 MHz. Signal strength, weak but consistent. Location estimate, 12 to 15 kilometers southwest. Content, medical facility requesting supply assistance. Personnel estimate, 15 à 20 survivants. Ham radio network 146.520 MHz. Multiple stations coordinating resource sharing. Coverage area, regional network spanning 50-kilometer radius. Information exchange, radiation reports, supply locations, safety protocols. Coordination potential, high value for mutual assistance. Military emergency 243.000 MHz. Automated beacon transmission only. Signal origin, 25 kilometers northwest. Broadcast content, facility operational, personnel status unknown. Strategic value, potential military resource access. Facility operational assessment, 11 hours, 30 minutes, and 15 seconds. Cambria.stone@emergency.gov, infrastructure status. Structural repairs completed on critical systems. Water infiltration reduced to 0.3 gallons per hour through concrete ceiling. Ventilation efficiency restored to 85% capacity through shaft realignment. Emergency exit route be cleared and operational for personnel evacuation. Long-term facility viability assessment. Structural integrity, adequate for 6-month occupation with ongoing maintenance. Power generation, generator fuel sufficient for 42 hours at current consumption. Life support systems, functional but require regular maintenance. Radiation shielding, effective for personnel protection indefinitely. Facility limitation, extended occupation requires external resource acquisition for power generation and consumable supplies. Tactical understanding synthesis, 12 hours, 15 minutes, and 48 seconds. Callum.strix@emergency.gov, operational intelligence. Analysis of pre-strike intelligence confirms systematic exclusion from survival protocols. Elite evacuation completed 18 hours before public notification. Municipal emergency personnel deliberately maintained in operational positions to ensure infrastructure continuity until impact. Post-strike tactical advantages identified. Professional emergency management expertise applicable to radiation environment. Municipal facility access providing fortified survival base. Knowledge of regional supply cache locations and access procedures. Communication equipment enabling survivor network coordination. Transportation assets available for resource acquisition missions. Survivor network intelligence indicates regional emergency response community of 200+ personnel maintaining operations through mutual assistance protocols. Operational protocol development, 13 hours, 42 minutes, and 33 seconds. Leo.sable@emergency.gov, resource strategy. Extended survival strategy based on tactical intelligence. Phase 1, immediate resource acquisition, days 2 to 7. Surface reconnaissance during low radiation windows. Priority targets, fuel supplies, medical equipment, water purification. Transportation, modified emergency vehicle with radiation shielding. Risk assessment, acceptable exposure levels for critical resource acquisition. Phase 2, network integration, days 8 to 21. Establish communication with regional survivor groups. Coordinate resource sharing and mutual assistance protocols. Share technical expertise, radiation monitoring, facility maintenance. Develop distributed supply network for long-term sustainability. Phase 3, operational expansion, days 22+. Expand resource acquisition radius as radiation levels decrease. Establish permanent communication relais network. Coordinate regional emergency response reconstruction. Develop sustainable resource production and distribution systems. Threat assessment update, 14 hours, 25 minutes, and 17 seconds. Radiation threat analysis. Primary danger, surface radiation exposure during resource operations. Mitigation, protective equipment, exposure time limits, contamination protocols. Long-term risk, decreased through natural decay and decontamination procedures. Resource scarcity threat, current supplies, 8 days food, 12 days water, 36 hours power. Resource acquisition targets identified and accessible. Risk level, manageable through coordinated supply operations. Facility security threat, structural integrity maintained through ongoing repairs. Resource defense, facility location unknown to potential competitors. Access control, multiple secured entry/exit points available. Command decision, operational transition, 15 hours. Callum.strix@emergency.gov, tactical implementation. Based on intelligence analysis and resource assessment, authorizing transition from survival mode to tactical resource acquisition operations. Team operational assignments. Cambria, vehicle modification supervision and facility maintenance protocols. Jackson, resource acquisition mission planning and transportation operations. Leo, supply inventory management and acquisition target prioritization. Juniper, communication network establishment and survivor coordination. Callum, mission command and tactical decision authority. Mission timeline established. Hour plus 18, vehicle modifications complete, protective equipment prepared. Hour plus 24, initial reconnaissance mission to Fire Station 7 Fuel Depot. Hour plus 36, extended resource acquisition at Municipal Warehouse Complex. Hour plus 48, communication network integration with regional survivors. Operational objective, establish sustainable resource base enabling indefinite survival and regional emergency response capability restoration. Intelligence advantage achieved. Understanding of systematic exclusion enables independent survival planning without dependence on failed government evacuation protocols. Resource recovery mission. Emergency management log, day 4 post-strike. Callum Strix, emergency coordinator. Bunker status, operational. Radiation window, T-minus 47 minutes to low tide. 6h23, opérationnel briefing. Radiation sensors confirm 4-hour low exposure window beginning 7 o'clock. External readings, 12 Röntgens/hour, survivable for limited surface operations with protective equipment. Mission parameters, secure fuel depot 3 blocks north, medical supply cache at Community Hospital East Wing, backup generator components from Municipal Services Building. Jackson reports transport status, armored utility vehicle operational, fuel sufficient for 15-mile radius, radiation shielding plates installed on chassis. Vehicle modifications complete, lead sheeting over windows, air filtration system active, dosimeter array mounted on exterior. Leo calculates critical supply requirements. 200 gallons diesel fuel minimum for generator operations, medical supplies for 6-month timeline, replacement parts for water filtration system. Current reserves, 48 hours generator fuel remaining, medical supplies depleted to emergency rations only. 6h35, technical préparation. Cambria completes structural reinforcement priority list. Bunker integrity compromised in sections B, 7 through B, 12 due to seismic damage from detonation. Structural supports installed in critical areas, but outer chambers require evacuation within 72 hours without additional bracing materials. Steel beam requirements, 12 I-beams minimum for load redistribution, concrete repair compound for foundation cracks, industrial adhesive for seal restoration. Municipal Services Building contains sufficient materials, if accessible, during radiation window. Juniper establishes communication protocol for surface mission. Radio equipment functional on emergency frequencies 462.675 and 467.700 MHz. Contact schedule. Check-in every 15 minutes during surface operations. Emergency abort signal on frequency 121.5 MHz aviation emergency channel. Battery power sufficient for 8-hour communication window. Backup radio equipment prepared for potential primary system failure. 6:48 Eastern Standard Time, mission deployment. Surface team, Jackson, transport/navigation, Cambria, structural assessment/materials, Leo, supply identification/inventory. Bunker team, Callum, communication coordination, Juniper, monitoring/emergency response. Protective equipment distributed. Lead line suits rated for 20 Röntgen exposure, dosimeter badges for individual monitoring, potassium iodide tablets pre-distributed. Emergency protocols, maximum surface exposure 3 hours, immediate evacuation if readings exceed 25 Röntgens/hour. Vehicle loaded with recovery equipment, portable winch rated 3,000 pounds, cutting tools for debris clearance, empty fuel containers 50-gallon capacity each, medical supply transport containers. 7h12, surface opération commence. Jackson Mobile Unit Alpha, street conditions navigable with debris clearance required. Radiation readings stable at 11 Röntgens/hour. Route to fuel depot clear. Estimate 8 minutes travel time. Vehicle performance normal despite radiation environment. Leo supply assessment. Fuel depot accessed, containment systems intact. Diesel reserves, Approximately 800 gallons available, hand pump operational, no contamination detected in samples. Transfer operations beginning, estimate 90 minutes for target quantity recovery. Cambria, infrastructure survey, municipal services building structurally sound, equipment storage accessible. Steel beam inventory confirmed, 15 I-beams available, concrete repair supplies sufficient for bunker restoration. Crane equipment operational for material transport. 7:28 Eastern Standard Time, resource recovery progress. Fuel transfer 35% complete. Leo reports no complications, transfer rate steady at 12 gallons per minute. Contamination testing negative on fuel samples. Vehicle fuel storage approaching capacity, return trip required for full recovery. Cambria identifies priority materials. I-beams loaded using building crane, concrete repair compound secured, additional welding equipment located. Material transport requires 2 trips minimum due to weight constraints. Radiation levels holding steady. Dosimeter readings within acceptable parameters for all surface personnel. 7:45 Eastern Standard Time, medical supply recovery. Hospital East Wing accessed through emergency entrance. Medical supply storage partially intact, pharmaceutical supplies available. Critical materials secured, antibiotics sufficient for 6 months supply, surgical equipment, trauma response supplies, radiation exposure treatment materials. 4 fluid supplies adequate, pain medication inventory complete. Refrigerated medications compromised due to power failure, but stable medications retrieved in quantity. Leo coordinates medical supply transport while Jackson continues fuel recovery operations. 8:12 Eastern Standard Time, emergency coordination. Juniper communication intercept. Radio traffic detected from survivor group 12 miles southwest. Group identifies as National Guard unit, requests supply coordination. Information exchanged, medical supplies available for trade, military-grade communication equipment offered. Tactical assessment, military contact provides operational security enhancement, potential resource sharing agreement beneficial. Recommendation, establish communication schedule for ongoing coordination. Contact protocol established with National Guard Unit Bravo 79 on frequency 467.850 MHz. Daily check-in scheduled 1800 hours Eastern Standard Time. 8:35 Eastern Standard Time, material transport phase 2. Structural materials transport in progress. Cambria directs crane operations for I-beam loading. Steel materials secured with industrial chains, weight distribution calculated for transport vehicle capacity. Additional equipment recovered. Industrial generator rated 25 kilowatts for backup power, water purification components, electrical repair supplies for bunker systems maintenance. Second fuel recovery trip commencing. Target, remaining 400 gallons diesel fuel, hydraulic fluid for crane operations, industrial lubricants for equipment maintenance. 9:18 Eastern Standard Time, technical complications. Radiation readings increasing, 16 Roentgens/hour measured at fuel depot location. Atmospheric conditions changing, contamination levels rising above predicted models. Mission parameters adjusted, accelerated recovery timeline, non-essential materials abandoned, priority focus on fuel and medical supplies only. Surface team ordered to complete current operations and return immediately. Dosimeter readings approaching caution thresholds. Team exposure levels, Jackson 18 Roentgens total, Cambria 16 Roentgens total, Leo 15 Roentgens total. Maximum safe exposure limit 25 Roentgens for mission parameters. 9:34 Eastern Standard Time, mission completion. All critical supplies secured. Final inventory, 650 gallons diesel fuel recovered, medical supplies exceeding 6-month requirements, structural materials sufficient for bunker repairs. Mission objectives achieved within safety parameters. Surface team returning to bunker facility. Estimated arrival 9:48 Eastern Standard Time. Decontamination procedures prepared. Chemical wash stations active. Contaminated equipment quarantine area established. Radiation window closing. Surface readings, 19 Roentgens/hour, and climbing. Next low exposure window predicted 36 hours from current time. 9h52 et post-mission assessment. Resource recovery mission successful. Critical supply shortages resolved through tactical surface operations. Bunker operational capacity extended from 48 hours to 6 months minimum with recovered materials. Team medical assessment. All personnel within acceptable radiation exposure limits. No symptoms of acute exposure. Potassium iodide treatment effective. Decontamination procedures completed successfully. Structural repair operations scheduled for next 24-hour period. Cambria reports sufficient materials for complete bunker integrity restoration. Priority repairs. Load-bearing wall reinforcement, foundation crack sealing, ventilation system contamination barriers. Operational status. Sustainable survival capabilities achieved through successful resource acquisition and tactical coordination. Next mission window. 36 hours for additional supply recovery if required. Communication with National Guard unit confirms ongoing regional coordination opportunities. Tactical advantage established through military contact and resource sharing protocols. Mission status complete, all objectives achieved. Operational survival protocol. Emergency management log, day 12 post-strike. Callum Strix, emergency coordinator. Bunker status, fully operational. Radiation levels, stabilized at 8.5 Roentgens/hour surface. 14:30 Eastern Standard Time, weekly status report. Bunker facility operating at optimal capacity following structural reinforcement completion. Cambria's repair protocol successful. All compromised sections restored to full integrity. Load-bearing capacity increased 23% above pre-strike specifications. Foundation repairs completed using recovered concrete compound. Ventilation system sealed against contamination infiltration. Power system stable with recovered generator providing 72-hour backup capacity beyond primary systems. Fuel reserves, 420 gallons diesel remaining after construction operations. Consumption rate steady at 15 gallons per day for essential systems only. Water filtration operating within normal parameters. Daily production, 50 gallons filtered water. Consumption rate 35 gallons for 5-person operations. Reserve capacity maintained at 200 gallons emergency storage. 14:45 Eastern Standard Time, resource management assessment. Leo reports supply status achieving sustainable parameters. Food inventory, 180-day supply secured through systematic rationing protocol. Medical supplies adequate for 8-month operational period, including radiation exposure treatment reserves. Daily caloric distribution, 2,200 calories per person maintaining operational effectiveness. Nutrition requirements met through balanced distribution of recovered emergency rations and preserved food supplies. Equipment maintenance schedule established. Weekly system diagnostics, monthly supply inventory verification, quarterly equipment inspection protocol. All systems performing within acceptable operational ranges. 15:12 Eastern Standard Time, communication network status. Juniper maintains daily contact schedule with 7 regional survivor groups. Network coverage radius, 25-mile effective range using recovered communication equipment. Information exchange protocol, daily status updates, resource availability reports, threat assessment data. National Guard Unit Bravo 79 operational 12 miles southwest. Reports civilian survivor groups consolidated at 3 locations within 30-mile radius. Military coordination provides tactical intelligence on regional radiation patterns and supply convoy movements. Amateur radio network established on frequencies 14.300 MHz and 7.200 MHz for long-distance coordination. Contact maintained with survivor groups extending to 200-mile radius reporting similar post-strike conditions. 15:28 Eastern Standard Time, radiation monitoring protocol. Surface radiation levels stabilizing within predicted decay models. Current readings, 8.5 Roentgens/hour average, variation 6.2 to 11.3 Roentgens depending on atmospheric conditions. Projection, 4.5 Roentgens/hour within 30 days based on isotope decay calculations. Safe surface exposure windows increased to 6-hour periods every 48 hours. Operational threshold established. Surface operations permitted when readings below 10 Roentgens/hour for routine supply recovery missions. Contamination monitoring indicates minimal infiltration of bunker environment. Air filtration systems effective at maintaining internal contamination levels below detectable thresholds. Personnel exposure records within acceptable long-term parameters. 15:45 Eastern Standard Time, Tactical Operations Schedule. Weekly surface operations established for ongoing resource recovery and facility maintenance. Standard mission profile. 4-hour surface window, 2-person teams, specific objective parameters for fuel, supplies, or intelligence gathering. Jackson Coordinates Transportation Maintenance Schedule. Vehicle systems require weekly inspection, fuel system cleaning, radiation shielding integrity verification. Transport capacity sufficient for 50-mile operational radius with current fuel reserves. Defensive preparations completed. Bunker access points secured with reinforced barriers. Surveillance equipment operational monitoring approaches. Emergency lockdown procedures tested and verified. 16h18, Régional Coordination Protocole. Resource sharing agreements established with 3 survivor groups. Exchange parameters. Medical supplies for fuel, technical expertise for food supplies, communication equipment for construction materials. Trade schedule. Monthly exchange meetings at predetermined coordinates during low radiation windows. Security protocol requires minimum 2-person teams with communication backup and emergency extraction procedures. Information network provides intelligence on regional threats. Roving groups seeking resources, infrastructure collapse patterns, radiation zone boundaries. Tactical awareness maintained through regular intelligence updates. 16:35 Eastern Standard Time, long-term operational assessment. Survival capacity projections. Current resource levels and replenishment rates support indefinite operations with established protocols. Critical success factors. Fuel supply chain maintenance, communication network preservation, structural integrity monitoring. Technical expertise integration successful. Team functions operate efficiently. Cambria handles infrastructure maintenance. Leo manages resource allocation. Jackson coordinates transportation and security. Juniper maintains communications. Callum oversees operational coordination. Skill development through practical application. Radiation safety procedures mastered. Equipment repair techniques acquired. Resource conservation methods optimized. Operational efficiency improved 40% compared to initial post-strike period. 16:52 Eastern Standard Time, Threat Assessment Update. Primary threats managed through established protocols. Radiation exposure controlled through monitoring and protective procedures. Resource scarcity prevented through recovery operations and conservation measures. Structural integrity maintained through regular inspection and repair. Secondary threats monitored. Potential hostile survivor groups, equipment failure requiring replacement parts, communication breakdown isolating facility from regional network. Contingency protocols established for each identified threat category. Response procedures tested monthly. Equipment reserves maintained for emergency implementation. 17:15 Eastern Standard Time, System Optimization Status. Operational routine achieving maximum efficiency parameters. Daily schedule. 6 o'clock system diagnostics, 8 o'clock resource inventory, 10 o'clock communication checks, 12 o'clock maintenance tasks, 1,400 hours planning sessions, 1,600 hours status reports, 1,800 hours regional network contact. Work distribution maintains facility operations without personnel overload. Task rotation prevents critical skill concentration, ensures operational continuity if personnel unavailable. Equipment upgrades planned using recovered materials. Communication range extension, power system efficiency improvements, water filtration capacity expansion. Implementation schedule coordinated with resource availability. 17h43, Final Status Summary. Operational survival established through systematic application of emergency management expertise and tactical resource coordination. Bunker facility provides secure operational base with sustainable supply chains and regional coordination capabilities. Team operational effectiveness achieved through functional specialization and coordinated tactical responses. No personnel casualties, equipment systems operational within design parameters, resource reserves adequate for extended operations. Current threat level, manageable through established protocols. Radiation environment stable and decreasing, resource supplies secured, tactical coordination effective with regional survivor network. Operational status, sustainable survival achieved. Surveillance protocols active, communication networks operational, resource management optimized. Facility prepared for long-term post-strike operations with vigilance procedures, ensuring continued tactical advantage. Next assessment scheduled. Weekly operational review in 7 days. Priority objectives. Continued resource accumulation, regional network expansion, facility capability enhancement. Emergency management protocols successfully adapted to post-nuclear environment. Mission parameters achieved through tactical expertise and operational coordination. End emergency management log. Facility status, fully operational, sustainable operations confirmed.